Okay, so this video is not going to be the most fun, but it's important. This is going to be for all my students who have completed the game and they want to put it on the web but when they do, it actually doesn't work. Okay, now I've actually already fixed this. So if you are using my code, on the last video I actually added a score. So I'll actually show you the changes if I look at the history. So this was yesterday. So what I changed was the name of the score method that I had written was the same as a variable. And that's okay in Java, but that's not okay in JavaScript or other languages. So I had to change the name to get this to work. And I didn't really notice that because I had run it in processing during the tutorial, but when I put it on my website, I noticed that problem. So I want to show this right here. Now this, just so you guys are clear, if you're watching this video and you're not in my class, this is Amazon. It's called Cloud9, and well, Amazon bought Cloud9, so it used to just be Cloud9, but now you have to go to like AWS, create an account, and then go to an environment using Cloud9. So it's kind of a pain in the butt. So that they bought it because to get an account you need a credit card. So it's something that I'm sure a lot of you are not going to do. You can do it for students, but it's kind of like I said, it's not the easiest thing to use. So I haven't gone too much detail on using that. My students in my classroom use it. But what it is it is a nice platform once you get into Cloud9 because it allows you to preview your stuff and see that it's not working. So if you see this box, which a lot of my students have seen, and I've walked with a lot of them through debugging it, this is kind of a real hard thing to figure out what's wrong with it. So, so stick with me. I'm going to show you how to do it. So this is all the code that was in my Flappy Bird. So if you go to the whoops, sorry, repositories, Flappy Bird. So if you look at all this code, that's what it is. So when you copy and paste this into your website and you put that into the template, so I put a template on there too. So I thought I did. I guess I didn't. I'll put the template on after this video. But basically, there's a web template that I've got for my students, which allows them to embed. So here's what it looks like. So this is what it looks like, and you know that this is working if you run it and you see like an ellipse. So this is just basically right here. The script tag is what hosts the processing, and this allows me to see what is actually being done. So if you look at this, if I change this to like 200, move it over to the right, and move it down, and even change, let's say it's the height of it. If I do that, I can. Well, now the size has to be. So let's just do size 600, 600. Indentation doesn't matter, but whatever. So there you can see that I can update this HTML page and I can see it happen in real time. And unfortunately, if you're doing that on GitHub directly, there's quite a bit delay, like a minute and a half. So that's going to make debugging really a pain in the butt. So for debugging in your website, unless you're really good with the web or you have another platform, I would recommend using something like Cloud9. So I'm going to go ahead and go and debug this. So this is kind of a pain in the butt. So this is the wrong one. So Flappy Bird is not working. So the first thing is I know that this is wrong. So let's go find that method score. And let's change it to set score. So we'll just call it set score or display score, anything else. And so that means I can change this method to set score. And I thought that that would fix it, but unfortunately there's another problem. So what you're going to do is, well, first let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a little better. Alright, so basically what I've done so far is I've changed the name of the method score so that isn't the same as a variable. I didn't change the variable because I use a variable so many times throughout my program that would have been, look at all the times I use it. It would have been a lot more changes. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually just start by seeing if processing is working. So I'm going to go ahead and let's just see if the setup works. So let's go ahead and comment out everything below setup. And this is kind of a pain, but this is how it has to get done. This is actually where you'll get a lot better at actually coding, if you can actually do this. So look, the setup works because you don't see that blank white box. So that's good. So I know the setup works. So let's go ahead and see um, if our draw function works. So we'll move the comment to here, which means I can't actually use all of this code here. So all this code that's here, except for that, I'm going to take all this code and comment out this on the inside. So this will be the end of the comment. This will be the beginning of the comment. Okay, so this is where my problem is. So actually, let's try this now. Let's take this out. Let's go ahead and leave our function definitions in and see if that breaks the code, just defining the functions. So, in other words, if this breaks, I know that one of my functions is broken. So let's go ahead and try that. And there it is. So what that means is I don't actually have a problem with my draw function or my setup. So I can basically ignore all of this. That's not my problem. So I can leave that in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and check each of these one by one. So let's check end screen. Actually, let's leave that commented out. Let's check end screen. So let's see if end screen is the problem. It looks like, hold on, so let me uncomment this out. Okay, so it looks like end screen is not the problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this line and I'm going to put it down here. So we'll check the restart at the same time. Okay, so the restart function is fine. And now, so let's cut that out. And we're going to check the start screen function. So we're just going to move this down. Eventually this is going to break and then we're going to know we've found the bug. So the bug isn't in that function. So we'll just go through one at a time, paste. So now we're going to try set pipes, or no, sorry, set score. No problem with set score. That's the one that we had to change the name to. And then we're going to cut out set pipes. So that's good and bad. So that means that that is the problem. So let's cut this right here. So we know that set pipes is a problem, but we don't know there might be another bug. So let's just rule out any other bugs by getting rid of these comments and see if it works. Okay, so that's good. So it actually works, which means our bug is somewhere in our set pipes. Okay, so now we can actually start looking at our set pipes function. So let's cut this out, put it here. So this will be the end of our set pipes. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. So it's a big one, unfortunately. So that is the end. So now what I can do is I can start figuring out which part of it. So let's just start at the top. So this for loop is closed there. So let's see if we can cut out. We'll take this out. We'll take this condition out. I don't know. We'll just see. So we'll leave all this stuff in. We'll leave the first half of it. We'll see if it's in the first. Okay, so actually that means it's the problem is in the first half. I mean the second half. So that's actually okay. So let's see. Let's look at it. So if, so this if, I took out a brace. I need that. Okay, so that if is closed from there. So I do see this. That closes that else if, and this closes that. Wait, else if, else if, else if. Why is there another else if here? So that actually is the problem. So this should be indented first of all, because it's embedded, but there's no actual condition. There's an else if, so this should just be if. Okay, so we fixed it. So what that means is now we can go back to our program, cut out the comments, and we don't need this ellipse anymore. And voila, we fixed the game. So it was kind of tough to debug. Debugging is not the most fun thing to do, but it's an important process if you want to fix your game. So at least now we've got it working. Now we can push it to GitHub, and the final version will be live to play. Alright, so sorry about all that problems if you're having troubles with your code, but it's not easy to debug these programs sometimes. Alright, talk to you later.